On a note before we get started, I want the Dobson family to know that they're in our thoughts and our prayers as a football family and a football program, and we're just thinking of them. In terms of bowl prep, I think it's been a very, very productive bowl preparation. We'll finish tomorrow. We'll conclude with a morning practice, and then they'll be able to go home for the holidays and enjoy time with their family.
I guess as you wrapped up bowl prep here, this part of it, you feel like you got, I guess, the full attention, focus of the guys, you got done what you wanted to get done?
I think we've accomplished a lot. The players have come each and every day. They've had a high level of intensity. We've seen that in every practice has been with competitiveness, but also attention to details. We've had some younger players that have been set back with some nagging injuries, but for the most part, I think it's been very productive. Now it's being able to go down to the bowl site, put all your focus and energy and your preparation down there, and be ready to go.
Obviously, you know what you get from Josh, but what have you seen out of Sharon and Quentin so far this December?
Their reps have been invaluable for them, especially Sharon Jones, just because of him being on the scout team all year. So being able to get him out there and really get him some repetitions and full speed reps, but also Quentin as well. And Quentin continues to get better and better, and they continue to push each other. They can continue to compete, and that's what you want. But I see them making progress.
Have any other young guys kind of caught your eye these practices? So that stepped up that maybe in the season you guys weren't able to look at because of the week?
Well, we still see everyone. Darryl Taylor's a young man that continues to progress and get better and better and better. Been very encouraged by the growth and development of Drew Richmond. These practices have been invaluable for him. The defensive line actually took his stripe off yesterday, and I think that's quite a compliment coming from them because he goes against them every day in scouts. So I see him progressing. All the youngsters, we're still in a point in our program where all of our youngsters are basically playing. So you have to be careful in how you develop them, but I've been pleased with the development of all of them.
Was that a big deal for Drew to get that removed by the others? I know obviously maybe this was a season of five-star guy and all that, but has he responded maybe these last few weeks really well?
Yes, he has. His whole mentality, the way he approaches practice, and the offensive line was going to take his stripe off, but the defensive line beat him to it. But he continues to get better, and also you see a level of confidence continue to grow in him as well.
Obviously, y'all released some of those academic numbers yesterday. It looked like a pretty good semester, for the team. What were your thoughts on that overall? And also, will everyone be eligible for the bowl?
Well, thanks for asking that. Yes, everyone is bowl eligible, which is a compliment to them and a compliment to the Thornton Center. When we play January 1st, we'll have 18 college graduates on the field of play, which we're very, very proud of. And then when you look at having 57 individuals that are Vol scholars over a 3.0 in your football program, we set the record for the highest GPA of a cumulative for a fall semester at a 2.77. So it's a tribute to Dr. Joe Scoggin, Brian Russell, and the entire Thornton Center, but really our players. They've done a great job academically. We have a standard, we have an expectation here, and it continues to get better and better.
I guess we just talked to Mark for the final time as a Tennessee assistant a few minutes ago, and when you were going to be a head coach for the first time, how many different things are buzzing through your head? I mean, you got to get a staff together, you got to try to salvage your recruiting class. I imagine there's a million things running through your mind.
So many things. We were actually talking this morning about he's down to 20 text messages to return, over 400 and some odd text messages, and it all comes at you at once, and you have to be very detailed. But I told him to enjoy this. This opportunity doesn't come around very often, and sometimes you got to sit back and you have to actually enjoy it, but you're trying to juggle so many things, and I really think it's a tribute to him because he's been able to manage now being the head football coach in Eastern Kentucky, but also still being the tight ends coach at Tennessee. And coaching in this bowl game meant everything to him, and I'm just thankful that he still wants to do it and be a part of us, because you take great pride in anyone on your staff has an opportunity to better themselves and be a head football coach.
I know we don't talk about him a lot, but Patrick Ashford, how
Yeah.
important is it, what all that he does, and him and Medley just being on the same page?
Well, so much of it is being on the same page, and the short snapper, the holder set the temperament for the kicker, and you usually only know about them when something goes awry or something goes wrong. And they've done a great job. Patrick Ashford is one of those individuals that works every day. He wants to be involved in coaching. He's actually been sitting in some of our coaches' meetings. And again, growing up in our football program and now him wanting to go into coaching means a lot to us. Matt Giampapa has done a great job all year, but they set the temperament of the kicker.
I think a few more. Which would it, like Jason Groom was out there getting some work today. Is that his first kind of on-field action? Has he been out there this week, or kind of was he making an impact?
Jason's been out there this week, still limited, mostly in individual drills, but you can see him progressing, and we're going to have him back for spring football and excited. He's done a great job in terms of recovery and rehab with the knee, but also getting bigger and stronger in the weight room. You can see it out here.
You've had, it just looks like Kurt's almost being a coach right now to some of those young guys. And, I'm sure he wants to go play football for years and years, but when it's time for him to stop doing that, if he wanted to be a coach, do you think he's got the chops to do that?
Wes, I've told him, if he ever decides he wants to be a coach, we'll hire him here in Tennessee. He brings so much to the table, his ability to communicate, his effectiveness in communication. He has the respect of our players, and they listen to everything that he says. And he's done a great job of really mentoring. When we talked about the progression of Daryl Taylor, Kurt Magid has a lot to do with that because he's coaching him on every snap.
One more. I wanted to ask that sports science question I asked last week a little bit.
Okay.
When you created the sports science team, it's kind of obvious, I guess, to have your athletic training guy there, to have your nutritionist, your strength and conditioning. Getting academics in there's a little bit out of the box. It seems like it's worked really well. What made you decide that you needed to have Dr. Joe Scogan in that room, and how do you think he's helped the rest of those guys and also helped you guys, I guess, teach football to you guys? It sounds like he sort of gives you an idea of how their minds work.
Well, the academic component of the sports science is the most important thing because it's all about excelling in the classroom. And if you think about it, you need your rest, you need your nutrition, you need all that with the ability to concentrate on a daily basis. So the athletic piece of it is as important as any of the other pieces that go together. But I think most importantly, when you put together a sports science department, it's all them getting together and having one voice, one philosophy. And a lot of times that doesn't happen. I think individuals become territorial, and we haven't had that here. We're all in it together, and that's the betterment of the student athlete. But I think you see a lot of times, you see the progression in our academics, and we're excelling academics, and a lot of that is because of the sports science piece of it. We work hand in hand with Aptus, which is a company that comes in and it really tests your players on their how they learn, and it helps our coaches to be able to reach them, how you talk to them. And every individual is different in terms of the learning curve, but also they sit down with academics and they review every in our program. So when they go over to the Thornton Center, maybe you'll remember something a little bit different than Wes remembers something. So you try to approach each individual on an individual basis, and I think that's really helped us.